What's up YouTube, it's JH171 here, and it's a little video about fire building. So when you build a fire, you want to build it where it's most convenient for you and where the most warmth can be achieved. So let's say you're out in the woods and you happen to come upon a boulder. You want to build your fire right against the boulder so it will reflect the heat back to you. And on the other side of the boulder, you can build a fire reflector yourself, which is pretty easy. You can stack rocks in a horseshoe shape, or you can put get some green wood or wet wood, put two stakes in the ground, two on each side, so you can stack wood in between that. Reflect the fire back towards you. Put mud in between it. So there's a bunch of ways you can make fire reflectors, but preferably you can have a boulder right here and a fire reflector right there in a horseshoe shape, so all the heat just gets trapped in the one area and isn't wasted somewhere else. So it kind of stays in the same area where you are, so you're not freezing to death. Sweep the area clean so it doesn't start any fires anywhere else. Have a good, a really nice radius, so just plain old dirt, so the spark doesn't set the whole forest on fire or something like that. Also make sure there's no roots popping out of the ground when you're building your fire, because if fire catches a root, you can travel underground for miles and start a forest fire somewhere else, so you gotta be careful about that. And the fire pit should be 6 to 12 inches deep, have sloping sides, concave, so all the coals stick to the bottom, so you get the hottest fire you can get. And then if you don't want the ground moisture to get to your fire, so you can put rocks on the bottom of your fire. Make sure the rocks up that are from high up, because that means it's dry. Because if the rocks are waterlogged, you find them low, near water or something, they can explode. So make sure your rocks are dry. Make sure you're watching the fire. And where you can find dry wood and tinder to start your fire, usually high up with south-facing hillsides that are exposed to the sun. That'll be where the most dry stuff is, away from the water, high up. Don't gather fuel from the ground, because that means if the ground's wet, that means your fuel's gonna be wet. So what you can do is look under trees or shrubs just for dead wood that are attached to that, and you can usually find some pretty good stuff. So because stuff on the ground will be wet, because the ground's wet, so just get dead wood and stuff like that from standing trees and shrubs, and you should be good with that. And then if you have a fire next to your house, your little shelter you have, then you want a entryway, put green wood or wet wood or something like that around it, so the spark does not catch your shelter on fire, especially if it is really dry shelter. Make sure it's pretty far away from your shelter too, like 4 to 6 feet, and if it's super dry, even farther away. And you also have a little fire reflector if it's by your shelter, so it pushes more towards your shelter, so you stay warmer during the night. So if you want your fire to last during the night, once you get your fire going, of course, and you got a good blaze going, you can put green wood on top of that, and then wet wood on top of that. So burn through the green wood, it take a long time to burn through the green wood. And once the green wood has been burned through, the wet wood will be dry, so that'll burn, and it'll kind of keep on going throughout the night. And also when you wake up, instead of having to start a fire again, you already have some coals ready for you. So it's one little trick you can do. Alright, and there's 4 stages of fire: tinder, kindling, squaw wood, and bulk wood. Tinder is light, airy, and fibrous and dry. You can take cottonwood, pine, probably pretty much any piece of wood. Once you scrape past the wet stuff and you get to the dry part of the wood, more the hard part of the wood, you can scrape it with your knife perpendicular like this, and you get a little fine sawdust. That'll catch really good. Dry reeds and grasses are some stuff that'll catch good. Anything light, airy, fibrous and dry. Kindling is usually pencil lead thickness to the actual pencil thickness. But I also, when I start fires, like to have that, and then I have to put slightly thicker stuff for the kindling too after that. And after the kindling is the squaw wood. It's called squaw wood because during the Indian days, squaws would go out and gather that wood. And then there's bulk wood, which is what sustains the fire for a long period of time. So I'll show you what that stuff looks like. So this is some sawdust I got. So light, airy, fibrous, and dry. Just you scrape it off. Right here we got the first part of the kindling. That's like pencil lead thickness. This is full pencil thickness. And I generally like to go. I like to have 3 stages of kindling. I like to have a little bit thicker. And the squaw wood is about wrist in diameter, about the diameter of your wrist. And the bulk wood is big. Let's look at this. So you don't add bulk wood to the fire until you get a good blaze going with the squaw wood all the way down to the tinder. So you get the tinder, then you get the kindling going, then you get a little bit thicker, and then you get the squaw wood going. Once it's a good blaze going with this stuff, then you can add the bulk wood. Make sure you gather all your wood before you set the fire, so you're not scrambling during the fire's going. So make sure you have all your supplies ready to go and just put them right when you need it. Okay, and then when you're gathering your wood, try to make it at least as possible. Just try to make it, have a good big group of people going out there to gather wood, or get kind of some kind of sledge you can put wood on. You can kind of drag so you can gather a lot of wood. Don't cut wood down. It's easier just if you find a huge log, just put one end into the fire, let that burn. Once that burns, you push it forward and burn more. All right, so let's get the fire going. And I picked a teepee fire because this is what burns best in survival situations. Once it gets going, you can start really easily. You can keep on going really easy in fire and during the winter with snow and rain, because the upwardness of the flames kind of puts out all the stuff that comes towards it. So when you start the teepee, you want to have the tinder first, then you put the kindling, slightly bigger kindling, and then slightly bigger kindling. Then you squaw wood. Once that is going good, then you put your bulk wood on. As you can see, it works pretty well. As you can see, I got a pretty good blaze going, and that's just with what I consider my bigger size kindling. And then once that good blaze is going like I have now, you'd add the squaw wood in teepee fashion. Once the squaw wood is going at a good blaze like this, then you'd add the bulk wood. So there you go, YouTube. Hope you liked it. Fire.